there, very good evening and welcome to the news tonight here on Rajya Sabha TV, where we get you the day's top stories from India and across the world. I'm Tracy Shilshi and here are the headlines. Winter session of Parliament starts with a debate on basic principles of the Constitution. Prime Minister Modi expresses hopes that good thoughts and new innovative ideas will prevail in Parliament. Home Minister Rajnath Singh says secular and socialist terms are unnecessary, but Congress President Sonia Gandhi claims core constitutional values are under attack in recent times. Rajya Sabha is adjourned after paying respects to sitting member Kekito Zimomi of Nagaland People's Front. Reshuffle in Punjab. Congress Party President Sonia Gandhi accepts the resignations of State PCC Chief Pratap Singh Bajwa and Congress Legislative Party leader Sunil Kumar Jakhar. And the nation remembers 26/11 victims on the 7th anniversary of the Mumbai attacks. Commemorative events are held to pay homage to martyrs of the deadly incident. Top story this evening, signifying the government's inclination for a debate over all issues during the winter session. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that discussions and dialogue are the soul of Parliament. Opposition parties too agreed with the Prime Minister for smooth functioning of Parliament. However, a united opposition has also urged the government to accommodate divergent views.
Expressing confidence that the winter session would witness eloquent discussions and exchange of innovative ideas, Prime Minister Narendra Modi stressed that there cannot be a bigger platform for dialogue than Parliament. Recalling his meeting with leaders of all parties, the Prime Minister said that everyone had agreed that the House should function in a cordial atmosphere.
सदन से बड़ा कोई संवाद का केंद्र नहीं हो सकता है। वाद हो, विवाद हो, संवाद हो, यही संसद की आत्मा है। बाकी कामों के लिए तो पूरा देश का मैदान अवेलेबल है और मुझे खुशी हुई कि सभी दलों ने वाद विवाद और संवाद के लिए सकारात्मक दृष्टिकोण प्रस्तुत किया है।
The Prime Minister's statement comes in the wake of a raging debate in the country over intolerance. The opposition has plans to corner the government over the issue and slam inflammatory comments by the ruling party's leaders.
जो लोग इसके जवाबदेह हैं देश का वातावरण दूषित करने के लिए, उन लोगों के खिलाफ वो कार्रवाई करें।
प्रधानमंत्री जवाब दें, सबका मानना है और डिबेट मुझे लगता है कि अच्छे तरीके से हो जाए और इसको हम एक दूसरे के विचारों को कम से कम सदन में टॉलरेट कर लें।
The opposition parties have said they are ready for a debate and dialogue, but also hit out at the government for adopting a dictatorial approach in Parliament.
अहम मुद्दे हैं, उसको जरूर सुनना चाहिए। बाकी जहां तक रहा सवाल कि पार्लियामेंट चलनी चाहिए, इस बात के लिए सभी सहमत हैं।
There can be dissenting positions, voices, and the parties in power, the people holding power, they must understand this and they must respect the dissent.
The winter session, which ends on the 23rd of December, will have 38 legislative items, including 7 new bills, during its 20 sittings spread across 28 days. 24 of these bills are considered important, including the GST bill, 3 bills related to replacement of ordinances and the real estate regulation bill. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Marking the 125th birth anniversary of Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, Lok Sabha today held a discussion on the commitment to India's constitution. The core values of the constitution and its provisions were discussed in the House, but a large part of the discussion was devoted to current political issues.
Speaking on the government's commitment towards upholding the core values of the Constitution, Home Minister Rajnath Singh said the 42nd constitutional amendment was unnecessary. The words secular and socialist were added to the preamble of the Constitution using this amendment.
संविधान निर्माताओं की यह मंशा थी कि प्रियम्बल जो भारत के संविधान की आत्मा है, इसमें कोई परिवर्तन नहीं होना चाहिए, एक ऐसी उनकी सोच थी और उस सोच के बावजूद 42वें संशोधन के माध्यम से इसमें परिवर्तन किया गया। मैं यह मानता हूं कि सोशलिस्ट और सेकुलर यह शब्द यदि आवश्यक रहा होता तो निश्चित रूप से बाबा साहब भीमराव अंबेडकर ने भारत के प्रियम्बल में उसी समय सोशलिस्ट और सेकुलर इन शब्दों का जो है प्रयोग किया होता।
Rajnath Singh also said that these days the word secular was being used mostly for political gains. The Home Minister also tried to corner actor Amir Khan on the issue of intolerance.
योग्य व्यक्ति थे, विदेशों से भी उन्होंने शिक्षा प्राप्त की थी। उन्होंने कहा कि नहीं, मैं भारत में ही रहूंगा और भारत की जो परंपराएं रही हैं, भारत की जो संस्कृति रही है, भारत की अन्य जो विधाएं रही हैं, उन सब सारी चीजों को ध्यान में रख के भारत को एक सशक्त भारत बनाने में मैं अपनी महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका का निर्वाह करूंगा। उनका एक संकल्प था। उन्होंने यह कभी नहीं सोचा कि हमारी भारत में उपेक्षा हुई है, भारत में मुझे समय समय पर अपमान झेलना पड़ा है, तिरस्कार झेलना पड़ा है, मैं भारत छोड़कर कहीं दुनिया के दूसरे देशों में मैं चला जाऊंगा। बाबा साहब भीमराव अंबेडकर ने ऐसा कभी नहीं सोचा।
For the opposition, Congress President Sonia Gandhi started the debate. Talking about the Constitution, she said that recently the core values of the Constitution have been under attack.
तुक इसीलिए है कि संविधान के जिन आदर्शों और सिद्धांतों ने हमें दशकों से प्रेरित किया है, आज उन पर खतरा मंडरा रहा है। उन पर जानबूझकर हमला हो रहा है।
Sonia Gandhi pointed out that since the birth of the Constitution had deep ties with the independence movement, its history automatically connects with that of the Congress party. The Congress president also targeted the government by repeatedly focusing on the word history.
13 दिसंबर 1946 को संविधान सभा में ही जवाहरलाल नेहरू द्वारा प्रस्तुत उद्देश्य प्रस्तुत ऑब्जेक्टिव्स रेजोल्यूशन ने संविधान की प्रस्तावना का रूप लिया। संविधान अद्भुत रूप से लचीला साबित हुआ है। इसमें 100 से अधिक संशोधन हो चुके हैं।
The debate on the Constitution happened in the current volatile political environment. Although social and economic equality and many other topics were widely discussed, the focus of the entire debate was the issue of intolerance. Shyam Sundar's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, the discussion on commitment to Constitution will start in the upper house on Friday, though the issue of intolerance is all set to take centre stage, with the main opposition, the Congress, indicating it's in no mood to let go of the issue.
With proceedings adjourned in the upper house on Thursday, the discussion on commitment to India's constitution will now start on Friday. The main opposition Congress, however, indicated that the issue of intolerance will remain at the centre stage during the discussion.
आज जब इस तरह के महानुभाव जिनके काम से देश गौरवान्वित हुआ, जिनके काम से समाज गौरवान्वित हुआ, जब वो अपनी जो सम्मान के चिन्ह हैं उनको लौटाने पर मजबूर हो जाएं, तो निश्चित रूप से कहीं ना कहीं संविधान की जो रक्षा करने का दायित्व आज जिन पर है, उनकी कारगुजारी पर सवाल उठता है।
Referring to several controversial statements made in recent months, the party demanded strong action against people making those comments.
तो मैं मौजूदा सरकार को ये चाहूंगा कि उसकी मूल भावना से जो लोग खिलवाड़ कर रहे हों, उन्हें प्रोत्साहन देना बंद करें और संविधान की इच्छा के अनुसार सबको समता का अधिकार, बराबरी का अधिकार, बोलने का अधिकार, सिर्फ भाषणबाजी नहीं होगी बल्कि वो उसे लागू भी कराएंगे।
Other opposition leaders are also expected to raise the issue of intolerance during the debate. Vishal Dahiya, Rajya Sabha TV, Delhi.
Rajya Sabha was adjourned today as a mark of respect to sitting member Kekeho Zimomi of Nagaland People's Front. Zimomi was admitted at AIMS Hospital in the capital for the past few days and died this morning after suffering a stroke.
As soon as the House met on the opening day of the winter session, Chairman Muhammad Hamid Ansari mentioned the passing away of 69-year-old Kekeho Zimomi, a well-known social worker. Zimomi worked for the uplift of the weaker and backward sections. He represented Nagaland in the Rajya Sabha from July 2008 to April 2010 and from April 2010 till date.
Shri Zimomi represented the state of Nagaland in this house for 2 terms, from July 2008 to April 2010 and from April 2010 till his sad demise.
Zimomi was a member of Nagaland Legislative Assembly thrice after his election in 1989. He was also a cabinet minister in charge of industries and commerce in Nagaland's People's Council government.
He also served as cabinet minister for industry and commerce from 1989 to 1992 and from 2003 to 2007, and as cabinet minister holding the portfolios of geology, mining and border affairs from 2003 to 2007 in the government of Nagaland.
Zimomi started his political career as a student leader and founding member of Nagaland Students' Federation. A successful industrialist, he recently visited Myanmar with National Security Advisor Ajit Doval for the signing of the peace agreement between insurgent groups and the Myanmar government. The chairman said, in Zimomi, the country lost a distinguished parliamentarian, an able administrator and a dedicated social worker. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
On to more news, and amid reports of an imminent rejig in the Congress state unit, Punjab Congress Chief Pratap Singh Bajwa and the Congress Legislative Party leader Sunil Kumar Jakhar have resigned from their posts. The resignations have been accepted by Party Chief Sonia Gandhi. An announcement on a new team for the state will be made soon. The move is being seen as significant before the assembly polls in the state next year.
इस कमेटी के अध्यक्ष प्रताप सिंह बाजवा जी ने और जो हमारे विधायक दल के पंजाब के नेता हैं सुनील जाखड़ जी, उन दोनों ने कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष सोनिया गांधी जी को अपना त्यागपत्र समर्पित किया है कि और अगर पंजाब कांग्रेस में आगे फेरबदल होना है, उसी को ध्यान में रख के उन्होंने दोनों ने रेजिग्नेशन दिया और कांग्रेस प्रेसिडेंट सोनिया गांधी जी ने उसको स्वीकार कर लिया है। कुछ और रिशफल पंजाब कांग्रेस में होगा, वो एक आध दिनों में हम आपको उसकी सूचना देंगे।
Well, for more on this, we're joined by our correspondent Vishal Daya, in fact joining us on the phone line from the capital. Vishal, if you could give us a sense really of this rejig, what necessitated it? Was it, of course, timely, considering the polls, of course, that are to take place next year? But apart from that, also there's been a lot of infighting that we've been seeing in Punjab Congress. Was that the reason why we're seeing this rejig?
Well, yes, you're right, Tracy. In fact, but this is a very crucial decision which was awaiting the party presidents and the top leadership's nod for quite a while now. And there was a tussle between Pratap Singh Bajwa, who was just resigned from the post of the PCC president, as well as Captain Amarinder Singh, the party's deputy leader in Lok Sabha, but a very senior leader from the state of Punjab, and ex-chief minister as well. Now, sources say that Captain Amarinder Singh has been, for quite a while, demanding or rather asking the party leadership, that the party's state unit in Punjab should be handed over to him. That is, he should be made the party president in the state. And in 2017, Punjab goes to poll. It's going to be a really crucial election for the Congress. They have not tasted victory in the state for 2 consecutive terms, and in that respect itself, Captain Amarinder Singh has been making those claims. And in the recent past, they say around 7 to 10 days ago, we saw the party vice president Rahul Gandhi holding consultations with the MLAs and other senior leaders from the state of Punjab on this issue itself. Now, what our sources within the party say is that Captain Amarinder is most likely to get reins of the party in the state, and this decision could be announced in just a few days. There are other senior leaders as well, and very important out here is that not only the PCC president but also the CLP leader has tendered his resignation. So obviously it seems that there would be some sort of balancing act which will be done by the party's top leadership to ensure that no more infighting takes place in the state unit just a year ahead of those crucial assembly polls which will take place in 2017.
All right, we leave that news, of course, for now. Of course, we'll be tracking all these developments with you, Vishal, in the days to come. Thanks so much for joining us. Meanwhile, the Delhi police today arrested Aam Aadmi Party MLA Akhilesh Tripathi in connection with a 2013 riots case. Tripathi was sent to judicial custody for 2 days after failing to appear in court earlier. The MLA from Model Town was the 5th AAP lawmaker to be arrested this year. Meanwhile, in the Delhi Assembly, the all-women MLAs of the Aam Aadmi Party, in fact, protested against BJP MLA O.P. Sharma wearing black badges. They demanded his suspension for making derogatory remarks against Alka Lamba. The House was adjourned twice, and Speaker Ram Nivas Goyal later suspended Sharma for the rest of the session and referred the matter to the Ethics Committee of the House.
तो इन्होंने 2 सजा दे दी। परसों इन्होंने बोला था आप 5 मिनट के लिए जाओ, फिर कहते हैं 1.5 मिनट के लिए जाओ, अब कह रहे हैं पता नहीं कितने दिन के लिए जाओ। अब मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा है, मुझे सदन से निकालना चाहते हैं, दिल्ली से, देश से या इस दुनिया से रुखसत करना चाहते हैं, मैं समझ नहीं पा रहा।
Let's give you some more updates from across the country and nationwide. India today successfully test-fired its indigenously developed surface-to-surface nuclear-capable Prithvi-2 missile. It was fired as part of a user trial by the army from a test range off the Odisha coast. Prithvi-2 has a strike range of 350 kilometers and is capable of carrying around 1,000 kilograms of warheads. The Supreme Court has asked the Maharashtra government to implement its earlier order of issuing licenses to dance bar owners. The top court also raised questions of the government's laws banning dance bars. The Maharashtra government has now agreed to comply with the orders within 2 weeks and said that all eligible hoteliers will be given licenses. The Supreme Court also today decided to continue interim stay of criminal proceedings against Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi. A defamation case was lodged against him for remarks allegedly holding the RSS responsible for the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi. Meanwhile, Rahul Gandhi has refused to settle the case by expressing regret for his comment, and he told the top court that he would prefer to argue. Around 15 Indian fishermen have been arrested by the Sri Lankan Navy for allegedly violating the international maritime boundary line. Their boats were also taken into custody. This is the 5th such incident this month. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has announced a ban on the sale of alcohol in the state from April next year. This comes after the JDU leader had earlier promised women voters that he would ban liquor in the state if voted to power again. The alcohol ban is Kumar's first big announcement since he took office last week. Quick break here. Up next, international news. In Russia is to soon launch retaliatory economic measures against Turkey as a countermeasure to its warplane being downed. Turkey says the response is emotional. Details in a bit.
Tales that inspire, stories of social change. A salute to diversity, promoting public discourse. Events that motivate, inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries every Friday at 10:30 p.m., Saturday 12:30 p.m. and Sunday at 1 p.m.
Welcome back to the news tonight. Now, today is the 7th anniversary of the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks. Various commemorative events were held to pay homage to the heroes and victims of the deadly attacks that shook the entire nation. Members of Parliament too paid tribute and pledged to stand united against terrorism.
A solemn tribute to the 166 brave hearts who lost their lives in the brutal terror attack on Mumbai 7 years ago. Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis led the commemoration ceremony at the 26/11 memorial at the police gymkhana early Thursday morning. He was accompanied by his cabinet colleagues, senior police officers and families of the martyrs who laid down their lives in the 2008 siege. UN Chief Ban Ki-moon also called for justice for the victims of 26/11, saying perpetrators of the attacks must be brought to book. In a statement to news agency PTI, the UN chief said, "Without prejudicing the law enforcement in individual countries, I want to reaffirm that all perpetrators of terrorist attacks must be brought to justice. I believe that an improved relationship between India and Pakistan could create a more conducive environment for both countries to stem the threat posed by terrorism." On this day in 2008, 10 Pakistani terrorists arrived by the sea route and opened fire indiscriminately at various locations in Mumbai. 166 people, including 28 foreigners and 18 security personnel, were killed and property worth crores was damaged. The recent attacks in Paris were a reminder of what happened in Mumbai 7 years ago. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
International news. And French President François Hollande will meet Vladimir Putin in Moscow to forge a broader coalition against the Islamic State. However, the controversial shooting down of a Russian jet by the Turkish military is expected to cast a shadow on his efforts. France has also said that it can only work closely with Russia if Moscow works on a political transition in Syria without President Assad. Hollande also met Italian Prime Minister Matteo Renzi in Paris on Thursday as part of his efforts to rally support for the fight against the Islamic State.
Nous devons aussi prendre des initiatives diplomatiques pour régler deux grandes questions, et qui sont la cause des malheurs que nous rencontrons et que les peuples, surtout de la région, vivent, c'est-à-dire la Syrie et la Libye.
Meanwhile, Turkey and Russia are refusing to back down in the row over the downing of the latter's warplane. Russia is now preparing to launch retaliatory economic measures against Turkey. Meanwhile, Turkey has disregarded Russia's plan, calling it emotional and unfitting.
Refusing to back down to ease tensions in the row over the downing of their plane, Russian Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev has ordered to draw up measures that would include freezing some joint investment projects with Turkey in retaliation.
Правительству поручено выработать систему мер реагирования на акт агрессии в экономической и гуманитарной сферах.
Bunlar olacak şeyler mi? Önce biz nerede hata yapıldı? Bunu siyasilerin oturup konuşması, askerimizin oturup konuşması, ondan sonra bu hataların karşılıklı olarak giderilmesi lazım. Buna bakmamız lazım.
Furthermore, Russia plans to deploy long-range air defense missiles to its base in Syria, which will destroy any target that may threaten its warplanes. If Russia reciprocates by downing a Turkish plane, the NATO member could proclaim itself under attack and will be eligible to ask for military assistance. Signaling a potential war between the two sides, France and Germany have once again urged de-escalation of the crisis.
Avoir une politique qui puisse être effective pour le contrôle de nos frontières extérieures et que nous puissions agir notamment avec la Turquie pour que ces personnes qui sont tentées de fuir.
Meanwhile, Russian civilians stood behind their soldiers as they protested outside the Turkish embassy in Moscow. The situation seems headed towards an impasse, with both Turkey and Russia remaining adamant over their rights as nations, yet promising not to escalate the issue further. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
In a major development that could escalate territorial disputes with China, Japan is planning to deploy about 500 ground troops to bolster defense in the East China Sea. Vice Minister of Defense Kenji Wakamiya was in Ishigaki on Thursday to explain a plan to deploy soldiers on the island from 2019. Ishigaki has jurisdiction over the Japanese-controlled Senkaku Islands, which China also claims. Tokyo's move comes even as China has been building up military forces and increasing patrolling in the disputed islands. With that, let's get you some more international news updates in Global Buzz. A Russian helicopter carrying 25 oil workers crashed in eastern Siberia. 10 of them died while 15 have been hospitalized. The helicopter was transporting the workers to the remote Vanco oil and gas field. A day after a deadly suicide bombing claimed by the Islamic State group, Tunisia closed down its border with Libya. The Interior Ministry said that the explosive used in the attack was the same that was used in suicide belts seized from Libya last year. North and South Korean officials met for talks to ease tensions after an armed standoff in August this year. It is their latest attempt to revive dialogue, which has been stalled for the last 5 years. The talks came after Pyongyang expressed regret over landmine blasts near the border that wounded 2 soldiers. Pope Francis led an open-air mass for tens of thousands of people in Kenyan capital Nairobi, his first stop in a historic first visit to Africa. The main theme of his tour seeks to address divisions between Muslims and Christians. All right, some cricket action now in South Africa is in trouble in the third test at Nagpur, needing 278 runs more to win the match. The visitors were 32 runs for the loss of 2 wickets in their second innings on day 2. Indian spinner Amit Mishra and R. Ashwin claimed a wicket each for India. Earlier, India had scored 173 runs in their second innings, taking a first innings lead of 136 runs. For South Africa, spinner Imran Tahir took 5 wickets, while pacer Mon Mokel claimed 3. This was after the visitors folded up for just 79 runs, with R. Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja again running through the batting order, taking full advantage of the turning track. Ashwin grabbed 5 wickets and left-arm spinner Jadeja snapped up 4. Leg spinner Amit Mishra bagged 1 wicket to close the South African innings.
This time played on to his stump, then Ashwin.
Now, the Indo-Pak cricket series may happen soon enough, with Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif giving the green signal for their national team to go to Sri Lanka for the bilateral series. The series was proposed by BCCI in a meeting between the heads of the 2 boards earlier this week. India had refused to play in UAE, and PCB chairman Shahryar Khan had turned down BCCI president Shashank Manohar's offer to send the Pakistani team to India. The 2 neighbours have not played each other in a full bilateral series since 2007, when Pakistan toured India, though Pakistan did visit India in 2012 for a limited over series. Now, the final step towards the series coming to fruition will be a clearance from the Indian government, which the BCCI still awaits.
श्रीलंका में इंडिया पाकिस्तान सीरीज होना तय हुआ तकरीबन 15 दिसंबर से। उसमें दोनों देश सहमत हो गए हैं और उसके बाद तकरीबन 5 मैचेस वहां पे होंगे और उससे दोनों के देशों के बीच में क्रिकेट की शुरुआत होगी।
And now let's get you some more updates in sports speed. Indian shuttler PV Sindhu advanced to the quarterfinals of the Macau Open. She defeated Indonesia's Linda Weni Fanetri 21-17, 21-18 in straight games and will next take on China's Chen Yufei to seal a berth in the semi-finals. Meanwhile, ace shuttler Saina Nehwal and K. Srikanth qualified for the year-ending BWF World Super Series finals to be played in Dubai next month. Saina qualified easily, finishing 5th in the Super Series women's singles rankings. Srikanth made the cut despite finishing 9th as China's Tian Hou-wei missed out. Manchester United blew their chance to confirm a knockout stage berth after playing out a goalless draw against PSV Eindhoven in the Champions League. A win in the final group game will confirm a knockout stage qualification for United. Real Madrid recorded a 4-3 victory over Shakhtar Donetsk in the Champions League. The Spanish Giants took a 4-0 lead before Shakhtar scored 3 goals in quick succession to create a scare for Real and peg them back to 4th. And that's all we have for you on the news tonight from the entire team here. Good night.